Hi, my name is Patrick Ness. I am the author of A Monster Calls The Rest of Us Just Live Here and More Than This, or these titles. And I'm here in Prague answering questions for Martinus bookstore. Monster Calls is the story of a 13-year-old Connor whose mother is ill, and she might be very ill, which is a real problem for Connor. His other choices are a grandmother who he doesn't get along with, and a father who lives in America and doesn't have room for him to live. And so he's faced with this challenge, and one night a monster comes to his bedroom window and demands that Connor listen to 3 stories, and in return he'll have to tell a 4th story, which is how he truly feels about this situation. So it's a story about loss and about grief, but also about coming to live with it. So it is sad, but it's hopeful, and it's beautiful. It's amazing. I'm going to show you an illustration because it's beautiful, and they're probably not supposed to do this, but I don't care. It's beautiful. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. I try not to label my books at all. I think I tend to be for teenagers, but my job is just to tell the story as truthfully as possible, and the right people will come to it, I think. And I think, lots and lots of adults read YA, and I've got theories about that, but I think it's mainly just because, I don't know, the emotions are honest, and how things feel, or we take them more seriously in teenage books than many adults want to, but don't for some reason. So, I don't know, I think it's for anybody. I do write for teenagers because I don't think you can cheat, but I think hopefully if you tell it well enough, I think it's for everyone. I lived in Hawaii until I was about 6 years old, so I was very small, but all my first memories are Hawaiian. And I know people like to call this paradise, but and it is paradise. There's sunshine and tropics and pineapple, but there's also cockroaches as big as your fist. So, you give a little, you lose a little. But I remember reading from very, very young, and that magic moment when a symbol turns into a letter, and a letter turns into a sound, and a sound turns into a word, and that's amazing. And that happened in Hawaii. So it'll always be my place, the place where I learned to read. Well, I think you have to trust yourself. I think you have to trust the story you want to tell. Because I always say that even if I believe every word, even if I agree with every word of a sermon, I don't want to hear a sermon. I want to hear a story. But I think if you are really responding to the story you want to tell, and I mean the story you really want to tell, throwing away all of the things that you think you should be writing, or that the market expects, or this is what people will buy. If you throw all that away and you really respond to the story that wants to be told, you're going to respond to it for a reason, and everything you care about is going to be in that story, but it's going to be a story first, and that's as it should be, because I don't want to read sermons, I want to read stories, but the truth is there. Everything I care about ends up being there, and all the things that I worry about end up being there, and all the things that concerned me as a teenager end up being there. So trust the story. Ignore all the crap that you think you have to write. Ignore that, and just write what you want to write, and everything you love will be there. Well, I had 2 bits of advice I would give. The first is the most important, which is write a book you want to read yourself. You'd be amazed at how many people don't. They write a book for a publisher, or what they think people will like, or there's a lot of vampire books. There's still vampire books. They really, really are undead. There's a lot of vampire books, so I better write one of those. Well, the thing is, nobody was looking for the first Harry Potter. Nobody was looking for the first Hunger Games. Nobody was looking for the first Twilight. And whatever you think about those books, those stories were written by their authors because they really wanted to tell a story. And that was the only reason. Not because they were trying to predict what a market would buy, but because this is the story that burned in them. And so they wrote it, and what do you know? Those are the huge successes. So number 1 is write a story you want to read yourself. Because if you want to read it, your joy and your love are going to be all over it, and people are going to be attracted to that. I mean it. That's absolutely true. And the second is just a practical advice is write an entire book. A lot of people think they can write sort of 3 chapters and get a great big publishing deal, and that almost never happens. Far more likely, you write the whole book, You make it as best a damn book as you possibly can. And that's when people respond. That's when publishers respond. That's when agents respond. That's when editors respond. So, so get that first book done, and then the world is yours. Yeah, my goal with the Monster Calls was never to write the book that I think Siobhan Dowd would have written, because how could you ever know? And in fact, when I took it on, I talked to my publishers and I said, I can only do this if I have complete freedom. Not for ego, but because that's what she would have done. She would have had complete freedom to let it grow and change and become what it needed to be. And so my goal was never to write a book that she would have written, but to write a book that she would have loved. And I hope so, because she was such a smart and emotionally smart writer, and I always felt like this was a secret trip that we were on together. With the illustrator, Jim Kay. I think it's a 3-way collaboration, and I hope so. I hope so, because I'm really, really proud of it. I think it's sort of a once-a-career opportunity, but I hope so. I hope she's looking down, really, really proud of it. I hope so. Well, I wrote the movie, so I hope I like it. I do. I'm really proud of the movie, and I feel so lucky about the movie, because the filmmakers were so collaborative with me on the writing process, and I was there through the whole shoot, through the edit. We worked together really closely. It's my philosophy was always that whatever happens with the movie, the book remains, and it does. The book remains. The book is its own thing and will stay. And so therefore, you can have a bit more freedom about the movie and make the movie what it needs to be. But I'm just really, really, I'm really proud of it. And how lucky does that feel? How lucky am I? It's ridiculous. I'm looking for wood to knock on. I'm really, I'm still chuffed every time I see it. Although I've probably seen it enough now. I've probably seen it 25, 30 times during the process. So that's probably enough for a while. But yeah, I'm really, really proud of it. Hope you like it. Anyway, thank you Prague and Bratislava and the Czech Republic and the Slovak Republic. And the movie is out this week. So have a look, buy the book, from Martinus. And I hope to see you soon.
Taky vám učaroval Patrick Ness a jeho knížky. My tu pro vás máme 3 balíčky, kde dostanete v tašce jeho 2 nejnovější knihy a stačí, když nám dolů do komentářů napíšete, jaká kniha žánru Young Adult se vám nejvíce líbila a proč. A 3 z vás odměníme.